All right, solutions to, what is this, quiz 3 for Math 243. We're given a bunch of information here and asked to ask some questions about it. So what's going on is they're giving me the temperature on a day and how many accidents there were on that day, and asked which of these is the explanatory variable and which is the response variable. Explanatory variable is the cause, response is the effect. So let's see, temperature could cause car accidents, sure. Car accidents cause the temperature? No, that doesn't make sense. So my explanatory would be the temperature, and my response would be the car accidents. Sure, should have written it down here, I guess. Sketch a scatter plot for the data. Sure, I can do that. If you go under stats, edit, you can enter all this data. I already have all this data in. This is the same data we used on the perfect problem for this week. So this is already in here. Yeah, it's the exact same, right? Yeah, I left it the same. Kind of mean if I didn't. But what you gotta notice is that make sure you keep track of which you have in which list. So what I'm saying is I put my explanatory variables, looks those are down in L2 in my example, and my response are in L1s. So my x's are in L2 and my response are in L1. So when I sketch my scatter plot, when I hit second and then y equals to get into the stat plot here, and then enter, and turn it on and select scatter plot, I got to make sure that my x's are L2 and my y's are L1, which they are in this case. So all I got to do is hit zoom, and then 9 is zoom stat, and it'll draw a little scatter plot for me. Sketch that scatter plot. I don't really care how precise you are, so I'm not going to be precise. There's dot there, a couple of dots here, a couple kind of like this, and there's one here, one down there, and one over there. Good enough. Sketch a scatter plot of the data. Yeah, we'll call it good. If you want, you can put labels on these. I don't really want. Should I? Nah, you don't care, do you? No, you don't care. All right, I'll do it. Fine. Here's 50 degrees. Here's 100 degrees. Good enough. Car accidents, we have 60 as the max, so 50 would be, I don't know, there-ish. Temp, accidents. All right, there's a very loose sketch of the scatter plot. Good enough. Estimate, but don't actually calculate the value of R, the correlation coefficient. Well, it should definitely be a negative number because we have negative correlation going on here. Should be close to -1 because it's pretty strong. So I'll say -0.9, and maybe I'll even add anything from what, I don't know, -6, -7. Let's call it -0.6 to -0.99 is okay. Yeah, I think if you had something not in this range, it would be because you didn't quite understand the value of R. Sketch a box plot. Okay, so we're done. That's it. That's all it wanted us to do. Find these 3 things. Okay. Part B says sketch a box plot of the data in the car accidents column above. So what I'm saying is completely ignore this column. Just look at this data. I didn't want to give you new data. I figured you already entered this into your calculator, so reuse it and sketch a box plot of it. Okay. So all of that data was in L1 in my calculator. So what I'm going to do is hit second and then y equals to get into stat plots. And then under stat plots, I want to choose, sorry about that, I want to choose the one that kind of looks like a box plot, which is this guy here, this 4th guy, and hit enter. And then I got to tell it that my data is in L1. And frequency 1, that's just a default you can always leave. So now all we got to do is view this thing. We've programmed our box plot. So if I just go to zoom stat again, it'll pop up with a box plot for me. So I'll do that. I'll hit zoom, and then the 9th thing on the list is zoom stat, and it gives me a picture like this. No outliers, huh? Kind of thought there would be. Apparently 62 is not an outlier. Okay, so my box plot, see, I got my minimum value here, at 11. And then I go over a little bit. And I got this box part of it, which looks like we're slightly to the right. Our first quartile is 16. Our median is 28. Our third quartile is 38. And then our largest observation that's not an outlier is this 62 way over here. I'm not your box plot. I don't know. You don't really have to do anything other than that. So I guess that's the end of the quiz. All right.